Because no matter who you are, no matter how nice you are, no matter how much you pray, no matter how much you fast, no matter how much you tithe. No, this is serious. You know, I'm a church boy, right? Bishops die broke, some of them. Saints, good, hard praying people, loving people, kind people, nice people, mean people, don't matter. These are financial principles. And inflation affects you no matter how you feel about it. Inflation is always going up. So if you don't have a method to outrun inflation, you're in trouble. So if a person says, I'm just going to work my job, save my money, and become financially independent, it's impossible because of limited income and inflation. Because if you start off, I got a niece, she just finished nursing school, so she got a great job right out of college, okay? I think it's about, 55 or 60, something like that. And so I told her, I said, now, honey, you got one more step. She says, what's that, Uncle? I said, well, it's real simple. I said, when you are 50, if you're making twice as much, you'll be making the same. Mm-hmm. She's never going to get a pay raise this year. Is that correct? Because of limited income and inflation. Inflation is always going. You double your money in 25 years, you didn't get a pay raise, did you? Everybody got it? So you got to find a way to make your income grow faster than inflation. And for most people, you can't do that on a job. You're going to have another source of income. Is that correct? Okay. Second reason, taxes. Typical family is going to lose about a third of their income to taxes. Now, when you're talking to people, you got to talk about this. See, you're not going to always get into this detailed stuff when you're doing a meeting in my econ, okay? But when you're doing the meeting after the meeting, when you're on the phone calling your reps at night, you're talking to somebody, and they're, I'm thinking about quitting, I'm just going to do my job. Do you really know what you're saying? You're never going to get a pay raise on your job. Your job's not bad, your job's a blessing, but you got to understand that you're in a capitalistic society. And in capitalism, these things happen whether you want them to or not. Everybody got it? This is the way capitalism works. That's why some people in America become wealthy, seemingly doing nothing. They're making more money than they want. They're making crazy money. And other people are working hard, trying to do everything they can do, and they can't catch up. Right. Let me give you another example of inflation, okay? Remember a couple years ago when gas first went up? Quickly, everybody remember that? Okay, now watch what happens here, okay? Gas went up. The trucking companies immediately put a surcharge on shipping. Okay? You were shipping something that was costing you X. They said, okay, boom, we raise it, make up difference. Is that correct? The truck driver that was driving the truck for the trucking company, they didn't get a pay raise. So they got hit with inflation, the trucking company, the business owner fixed it. Bam, am I correct? The grocery stores immediately raised the price of the products and services in the store because they paid more shipping to get them there. Am I correct? The grocery store employee didn't get a pay raise. You understand now? That's the way inflation works, isn't it? And see, when you start talking to your group like this, now it goes. See, you can't just do my econ, and then every time somebody in your downline is saying that I'm struggling mentally, they don't say it that way. They said, I'm going to quit. I'm tired. I'm not selling anybody. I don't know if I can get anybody in. That's not a time for you just to go back to that person and say, well, give them a smart butt answer. That's not the answer. You need to give them a legitimate answer, don't you? Something that's real. And then they'll change. Everybody understand? See, that takes caring about a person and also takes knowing how this works, right? Perfect example when you're talking to a 22-year-old. Or 24-year-old, and you just want them to listen to you. And they're giving you all this stuff about why. And you shut them down because you're like, I'm older, and so I'm going to just shut you down. And you need to listen. But that's not an answer, is it? Give them a real answer. Just like when I told my niece that, because she always listens to me about stuff. She says, well, I don't know about that, Uncle Ivey. It seems like they're going to pay more. I said, okay. Who you got down there now making 120? I said, okay, you there. You get your 60, whatever it is. How many of you down there making 120? I don't know. You might be right. I said, well, let's investigate. Let's see. And then let's say that person down there is making 120. You think if they stay there for 20 more years, they're going to pay them 240? See, that's real answers, isn't it? Yeah. Now this person go back and say, I better get straight, because there's something happening here to my life, and that's why people are struggling, financially limited, income inflation, but you can't see it. You just have to know that it's there based on knowledge, right? And it's not hard if you look around, is it? Let's go to the next one. High taxes. That's a simple one. Tax. We talk about tax law, but that's simple. All I got to do is look at the check. Look over there where it says gross. And look on the other side where it says grosser. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, so they're going to take about a third for taxes, aren't they? Did you know most people don't believe they get taxed a third? Right, then you have to say, look at your check, 7.65 for this. You got the state, then you got the feds, right? Next thing is debt. If inflation, if the cost of living is going up, you got limited income, so your income's not keeping up with inflation. Somebody's taking a third of your check for taxes, you're going to end up automatically in debt because you got to live. You got to buy some stuff, and the only way to get it for most people is to get it on a payment system. Is that correct? Okay. And then you're going to pay some interest. I don't know the numbers for this area, but like in Atlanta, incomes are a little lower. Let's say somebody's making $5,000 a month in Atlanta, they're going to bring home $3,400. Okay? They're going to lose about 30% to taxes. State of Georgia 6, FICA 7.65, then they got the federal. Now, out of that $3,400, they're going to have a mortgage or rent that's somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,000 to $1,200. So now they're down to $2,200. And if they pay the mortgage, the majority of that mortgage payment is going to be interest. So now, the $5,000 with the $3,400 with the $2,200. Now, if they got a car note, credit card, you see what's happening? It's not like everybody is bad financially. There are some financial principles that's happening to people that they don't know how to deal with. Everybody got it? And when you start talking to your group like this and you can show them mathematically what's going on in their lives, you will change them. And the first person you have to change. When you change you can build my econ. But if you don't change you, if you never want to deal with any of this, you can't build my econ. Because you'll still be, see, this is the message of most network marketing companies. There's nothing wrong with network marketing. Network marketing is great. I enjoy it. But here's the reality. The message is it's good, it's wonderful, it's fantastic, it's great. We got the best products, we got the cheapest products, we got the only product to do X and X, and we got Billy Hero Smith that's making $100,000 a minute. That's the message in network marketing, isn't it? And I'm like, well, what's that got to do with me? I'm not Billy. I'm just a little boy from South Georgia that want to be a millionaire. And that message doesn't work because you're trying to appeal to somebody to say, if you get up out your chair and if you can really sell, you can get rich. Problem is, 95% of them can't sell. 95% of them don't want to sell. So they do it 2, 3, 4, 5 months and they quit and it's over. And then they try another one. This is what they say. Well, see, I'm looking for, this one is really the one. There's never the one. It's not the thing. It's you. Businesses don't build people. People build businesses. So we got to work on you, the person. Last thing. 4 obstacles. Limited income inflation, high taxes, high debt. And the last one is less than ideal cash flow management decisions. Now that's a mouthful. And some people in my econ don't want to see it. They're like, well, we don't, that investment stuff. Look, here's what you got to understand. We're supposed to have wealth. We all want some wealth. The government recognizes we needed some wealth. Now, they recognized it in 1934. Shouldn't everybody know by now? Corporate America realized we needed the wealth. Now, what is less than ideal cash flow management decisions? In a capitalistic society, to stay ahead of inflation and to build wealth, you've got to be able to put some money away as an investment, and that money has got to grow faster than inflation. If I take my dollar and I put it in the bank, and the bank paid me 3%, and inflation is running 3%, I'm still losing money because I got to pay taxes on what I make. Is that correct? So I'm losing money. This dollar, like people say now, they say, ooh, the dollar just losing value. The dollar always lost value. Ooh, did you hear about the dollar? They just talking about it on the radio now and on the TV, and people are like, ooh, something new's happening. No, it always lost value. You can go back anywhere in history. Any currency in the world loses value. The euro, every currency loses value because the physical piece of currency stays the same, and the cost of living never stays the same. So all currency lose value.